My name's Chris Luff. My experiences with concussion really came to fruition in 2017 playing football for South Fremantle Footy Club. My arms were pinned and I was slung tackle into the ground. I played out the rest of the game not realising that I had been concussed, and it wasn't until I got into the change rooms and having a shower where I felt quite drunk and uneasy on my feet. I'd been concussed a few times before, thinking, knowing that it would only last a week, I'd be okay and I could jump out and be okay and play the next week. 1 week turned into 2 weeks where my symptoms, were worsened. Double vision, migraines, headaches, mood swings. Couldn't actually really figure out what was going on, and I didn't know where to turn. Ended up being 6 weeks out of football, and I convinced the doctor and myself that I was okay to play, knowing in the back of my head I wasn't. I wish I'd spoken up sooner, and things could have been different. 6 weeks later, I played my first game of footy again, bent over to pick the footy and got a knee to the back of the head. Now that rocketed my symptoms off twice as worse. The hypersensitivity to light, I couldn't go outside without getting excruciating headaches. I found myself spiralling into a dark hole, and my mental health started to take a pretty bad hit. It got to a point where I was driving home from work and I started to break down and cry and not realise what was actually going on and why I was feeling that way. The truth of the matter was I had no pathway or education around the concussion or what I could do to get better. My recovery took 9 months in the end. I'd lost 8 kilos. I couldn't work in my trade anymore as a boilermaker. I couldn't read the plans I was doing. Things got really, really bad. And it wasn't until 9 months later I did my own research and found a doctor situated in Sydney who could actually help me, and I was fortunate enough that South Fremantle Footy Club helped me get to Sydney to see this doctor, and within 2 weeks of seeing him, changing a few things around in regards to my diet and just the education and awareness around the concussion, I could actually forge a pathway to recovery, and within 2 weeks I started feeling better again. If I'd spoken up sooner and asked for help or let people know what was actually going on, then this didn't need to happen. Hence why we started In Between the Ears, because no one should have to go through what I did. We're just trying to educate people in their recovery with concussion. So In Between the Ears was created to create as much awareness and education around concussion through our own experiences. We've lived it and breathed it and realised what works and what doesn't work. So the more we can get out to the communities and spread our message, the better. And there's 2 sides to In Between the Ears. The first side, Freshy's just going to speak about briefly with you now.
Well, the first side is the education side. We want to get around to as many sporting clubs as we can, sharing our experiences around concussion and mental health. We want to speak to the players, the parents, and also the staff, just talking about how to manage concussion properly. And we also just want to change the culture. Just look after your teammates, speak up if you're not feeling well after a big hit, and just really changing that culture so everyone's on the same page.
The second part of In Between the Ears is based around the support. So we've been lucky and fortunate enough to link up with doctors and leading concussion specialists in WA at Curtin University that are willing to see anyone that have come out to our sessions, and pretty much what we're trying to do is connect the dots on your journey to recovery.